Hello everyone, welcome along. It is Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, number one tennis betting podcast and YouTube show brought to you in association with Bet Rivers. It's Wednesday, which means it's quarterfinal day on the ATP Tour. Looking ahead to today's quarterfinals is our senior ATP Tour handicapper. It is Sean Calvert. Good afternoon to you, Sean. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, not too bad.
I know you got in the WhatsApp group. You asked us if we can record at 2 o'clock today because I know you've got an appointment at the Tanning Solarium at quarter past two. So I knew you had to be on it quick. So
you're getting the most out of this, aren't you?
No, I don't know if you watched. If you didn't watch yesterday's show, well, why didn't you watch yesterday's show? We gave you one bet, one winner. We also found some revelations of Sean going in his world of tanning.
Revelations a bit strong.
Somebody said. Sorry to interrupt you. Somebody said that they would have bet 33. They wouldn't have bet at 33-1 that you are a tanning man.
I haven't been for the last 10 years. It's only the last few months that I've been doing it. Again, I used to years ago, but I haven't really done it since Lagan was born until recently. I'm just getting old now, and it's I can't be doing with the cold. That's it. If people are sat there thinking, he's sit there with all these creams on trying to get some like mahogany tan, that's not the case. I just can't stand the cold. I'm like a lizard. I've got to be warm before I can even move anywhere. That's what it is.
I'm not buying this.
Okay.
I can see you buying the new sports car in about 3 months' time.
That's definitely not going to happen.
I think you'll be off to Turkey to get your teeth done, and you'll be coming back with a full head of hair. I can see a change. I can see a change.
I think the hair is quite appealing out of all that. A sports car, absolutely no chance. Lagan just makes a complete mess with like mud and, sick and all sorts in my car. So there's absolutely no point. I said this to Lagan the other day because he keeps asking me why I'm not buying like a Lamborghini or something. Because all these kids, they watch YouTube and they see all these videos and all these YouTubers are driving around in Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And he's like, "Oh, Dad, can we get the one?" I'm like, "Well, no." Because you'll just make a mess of it with your horrible mud and all sorts of stuff. So that's definitely not going to happen. What was the other one? Teeth, did you say?
Teeth. Yeah. You're off to Turkey to get the teeth done.
Why do you need to go to Turkey for that? What's going on there?
Well, that's everyone goes out there, then they come up with the tan, the hair, and the teeth. You get done half the price.
I didn't know you could get. I can imagine the conversation. I could see. There was a guy down the paddle place actually was talking to me about that the other day. He went over there to have a little hair transplant done, but he's only about 30, 35 or something. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe we'll see. I wouldn't have thought so at the minute. Definitely sports car, no chance. Absolutely not.
But you're not into sports cars, but you have bought a nice, very expensive bit of electrical equipment for the office today, and
I wouldn't say it was expensive.
Top of the range. Well, it's a top of the range, super duper sunbed in there as well, which hopefully we'll get a picture of, and Sean will post it on social media. That'd be great. But anyway, I'm joking aside. You
can probably see it.
No, we'll wait for the pictures rather than the screen, because this is all great. It's great fun, great amusement. But obviously the real deal here is to come on here and give some tennis picks. And last night, one official play, one official winner. Sebastian Korda getting the job done against Davidovich Fokina. He struggled a little bit to get it done, I think in about 6 or 7 match points, but he did it in the end. What did you make of Korda before we come to today's bet? Because he's now up against in the quarterfinals our pick, Kokkanakis, who was 22-1, picked by Sean, now down to 5-1, and he faces Korda in the quarterfinals. Before we go on to the official plays, just want a little bit of your thought on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Kokkanakis owes him one, doesn't he? Anyone that saw the last time they played in Washington, D.C., I remember watching that match live, actually. Kokkanakis was a set and 5-2 up, served for the match, got to match point. I think it was the first match. I can't remember if it was the first or second match point. Kokkanakis had pretty much won the point. I think it was a real deep shot on the baseline, and Korda kind of dug it out and started walking towards the net, thinking that his sort of shanked effort was going into the tram lines, and Kokkanakis thought that as well. They were both sort of walking to the net, and it landed right on the edge of the line. And he ended up winning the point quarter and went on to win the tournament, because Kokkanakis ended up losing that set in a tiebreak, retired in the next set. Korda ended up winning the whole thing. So Kokkanakis certainly owes him one. But I mean, to be honest, today I didn't see that much of the. I only saw the highlights of the Korda match. Typical Davidovich for Kin. That's why I said, Davidovich is very short at that price. He's always liable to go AWOL if things aren't going his way. He's not what you would call a a guy that would fight and scrap and battle, do anything he can to get back into the match. If he's not feeling it, he's not feeling it. And Calder would be delighted with that result. But it's been a good matchup for Calder. I said yesterday that plus 214 would look pretty big if Calder was in anything like decent shape, and he was in reasonable shape. Kokkanakis, I thought, was a little bit fortunate to beat Echeverry, but I don't think he's being helped by the scheduling. I kind of understand why he's being put on the times that he is, because these tournaments have got to make money, haven't they? And their best way of making money is by putting the marquee player, the Adelaide boy, on at night when there's more people likely to turn up. Therefore the cash registers are ringing. I do understand that side of it, but it's not really helping him as far as progression in this tournament is concerned, because it's very, very slow and obviously a bit more humid at night. And Echeverry's a tough guy to beat when you haven't got that extra bit of zip off the court, the ball's flying through the air a bit quicker. When you haven't got that advantage, Echeverry's a tough out. And to be honest, looking at the stats, I watched most of that match. The stats were very heavily in favour of Echeverry, but Kokkanakis ended up playing a very good tiebreak to win it. So yeah, if he's not too fatigued, Kokkanakis, he won't forget that. In fact, I think he mentioned that Washington match in his post-match today, so he won't have forgotten that, and hopefully he can get the better recorder. But this scheduling for me is not really helping him that much.
Yeah, and he's scheduled again late tomorrow, so early tomorrow, so 3 a.m. tomorrow Eastern time. If you're watching the UK, it's 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Kokkanakis against Sebastian Calder, and I'll pick Kokkanakis. Looking good, 5-1 now to win the tournament from a pre-tournament 22-1, but he is the underdog against Calder at plus 120. We have two matches we are going to discuss in Adelaide, where the action starts at 9 p.m. on the BetRivers website. Make sure if you do have a bet on the BetRivers website, you can watch the matches as well. By placing a bet, you'll be able to live stream any of the matches on any of the markets that you choose to take a bet on. And the first match we are going to discuss is Felix Auger-Aliassime up against Marcus Giron. Aliassime is minus 167. Giron is plus 135. 10:30 p.m. this evening, this match starts. Minus 2.5 is the spread, and 22.5 is the total, with over 22.5 a fairly heavy favourite at minus 130. If you look at the head-to-head record between the two, Felix Auger-Aliassime has an overwhelming lead. He leads 4-1 on the head-to-heads. The only time that Giron won was in Tokyo in Japan in the quarterfinals in 2023, and the last time they met was in the Olympics this year, where Auger-Aliassime won 6-1, 6-4, but that was on clay. Now it's a hard court, a little bit more of a leveller. Giron has looked quite good in his tournament all week. He's come through against Shapovalov, Vukic as well in round one, and Felix Auger-Aliassime is coming here on the back of a win against Taylor Fritz in the United Cup. So both players playing quite well. Felix is a heavy favourite. The usual play with Felix matches is set one overs, so I'm interested to see where we're going to go here.
Yeah, I don't know about that with these two. That their five opening sets against each other, 6-1, 6-1, 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. In fact, they've never played a tiebreak against each other in 5 matches. I think I mentioned a couple of times on this show that the conditions they're not really producing that many tiebreaks. That's why I've not had any of those bets this week. But I just think Felix is very short here. Very short indeed. If we look at the last 12 months at main level away from clay, so every surface apart from clay, Felix, just a 44% win rate and a service points 110 points, one total of 101. Giron, much, much better win rate, 59% win rate for Marcos Giron and a total of 102. So statistically, you would give the edge to Giron. And just looking at those numbers in a little bit more detail, Giron's actually won a fraction more first serve points than Felix has, and he's held serve more often, which you maybe wouldn't expect, but Giron's serve is certainly improved in recent times. It's an underrated shot for sure. He also beat Felix in the only time they've ever played on a hard court, 6-1, 6-4. That was in Tokyo in reasonably lively conditions there as well. The two of the other head-to-heads were on clay, and you wouldn't expect Marcos Giron to be at his best on clay. Very rarely is he at his best on clay. Felix is a more capable player on that surface. So, the head-to-head, it's not... I think that's what this is being priced on, to be honest with you. 4-1 head-to-head, the bookies are just thinking, well, yeah, Felix has got the better of him. He's the better player. Let's put him in at minus 167. I don't think it's as simple as that. If we also look at what both players actually have done against top 50 ranked opponents on hard courts in the last 12 months at main level. Felix only got a 31% win rate. Giron's better at 38%. So he's been the one that's been playing the better tennis against the better players. If we look at recent form, very recent, yesterday, in fact, Felix, or today, whichever way you look at it, Felix was pretty lucky that Artur Cazaux got injured in the match that they played. I mean, he was being outplayed by Cazaux. Then Cazaux got a back injury, which severely hampered him. You know, Cazaux's best shot is one of his best shots. His weapon really is the first serve. Big first serve, back injury really limited that. And Felix still only managed to edge it 7-5 in the third. So, he admitted himself, very scratchy performance. Not that uncommon this time of the year, but he's done nothing recently on the main tour, Felix, that would suggest that he should be minus 167. I think this is just being priced on the head-to-head. So I think Giron's been a little bit underrated here. Plus 135, that's a bet for me.
Yeah, plus 135. Marcus Giron is our first official play to overturn what is a very, very one-sided head-to-head. But there are circumstances for that. Court conditions, different conditions, clay matches as well, which aren't favourable for Giron. So we're going to go against the tide there. Yesterday we had some leans as well that cashed. Gael Monfils was a lean as well that won as well. So it was a good day all round yesterday. And next match up is a match between Tommy Paul and Rinky Hijikata. 9 p.m. tonight. This match starts over in Adelaide. That's Eastern time, 9 p.m. And Tommy Paul, I mean, I know he's the number one seed here, and I know he's a decent player, but he struggled this morning. His form coming into this at the end of last year with first round defeats in Vienna and Paris after winning in Stockholm isn't much to be written home about. And he's a very heavy favourite here. Minus 455 against Hijikata, who's had two good wins here against Goffin, Nakashima, and he's had to come through qualification. He got beat in Brisbane last week by Novak Djokovic, which we can't, that's what the GOAT beating him there. But Hijikata is plus 350 with a spread of 4.5 and a total here at 21.5. Seems very, very wrong, that price. If you look at the head-to-head, they've never met before, so there's nothing in that area that suggests why he should be minus 455. Sean, I can't get my head around that, especially in a week before the Australian Open, where Tommy Paul will just probably want to reach the quarterfinals, semi-finals, get some practice in and head across to Melbourne. I just don't like this price at all about Tommy Paul. I
think it's Hijikata's awful record against the better players. He's 0-13 against top 20 players so far in his career, Hijikata, and he hasn't really been close in any of them. Pretty much all of them have been straight sets, blowouts, like 6-2, 6-3, 6-1, 6-4, stuff like that. So that's potentially why this is being priced up how it is. I mean, Paul has much better stats. I can kind of understand him being pretty short, but this is a decent chance for Hijikata to maybe produce the best result of his career so far against a top 20 opponent. Because Paul, as you said, was not great at all in his opening match. I think you're taking a hell of a risk if you're just backing him on the money line at minus 455. I mean, I understand he was rusty against Guinard in the match yesterday. He hasn't played for a while, first match of the season. But Hijikata's just having a free swing here as a lucky loser. He lost in qual, he's got back in, and since then he's been playing great. This happens sometimes with lucky losers. He dismantled David Goffin for the loss of just 3 games, and then he played really superbly well to beat Nakashima. Incidentally, Tommy Paul will be delighted that it wasn't Nakashima that won that match, because Paul's got a terrible record against Nakashima. He'd probably be very pleased that Hijikata has come through that one. But Hijikata said it himself, and he's right. He said he feels like he's playing with house money because he shouldn't be there. He lost in qualies, got back in, and he's just having a free swing. And this is going to be the same. There's going to be zero pressure on Hijikata. This might be an interesting one for the crowd to get into, actually. But, the big underdog, the Aussie, against the top 20 player, the number one seed. If he gets off to a good start and gets the crowd into it, it could be interesting, this. The other thing I've discovered about Tommy Paul is that when he's been priced up pretty short, between 1.1 and 1.3, that's minus 1,000 and minus 333. When he's been priced up in that range, he's only won 3 of his last 10 matches in straight sets. So I'm thinking here, given the circumstances, that if you are having a bet on this match, I think overs is perhaps the way to go. Over 21 and a half games, I think, is a minus 104 chance, 1.96 a Bet Rivers, it was earlier. I think that's where I'd be going here. I could see Hijikata, if he carries on that mindset of just having a free swing and going for it with zero pressure, I could see him causing at least some sort of challenge to Tommy Paul here.
Yeah, that match opens proceedings on quarterfinal day in Adelaide at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I give Hijikata a bit of a chance here. I quite like him on the spread. You want to play him on the totals. There's 29 different markets available on the Bet Rivers website and the app. Download the app and you'll be able to see all the different markets. But definitely fading Tommy Paul in some capacity is pricing. Not saying he's not going to win it, but minus 455 is a very, very short price, and there must be some value on some of the props available with Bet Rivers on the Aussie. Rinky Hijikata. There is another tournament going on over in Auckland in New Zealand, and we have two matches we are going to discuss there as well. It's quarterfinal day there as well, and the action starts very early this evening. 5:30 p.m. is the first match, and we might as well start with that one first because it's the All-American one between Alex Michelsen and Basavareddy. Both of these played in the Next Gen tournament at the end of last year. Basavareddy is a 19-year-old American. Michelsen is a 20-year-old American. They have played a couple of times on the Challenger Tour as well, and it's 2-1 head-to-head lead for Michelsen, but this is the first time they've met on the main ATP Tour. Michelsen is a player that everyone over bets, I think. He's always very underpriced because he comes with a bit of a reputation already in his young career. And Basavareddy is a bit of an unknown, but if you look at his performances this week, he's come through qualification to beat Van der Sandschap, he's been Altmaier, he's been Comensana, and he's beaten Tabio, who was a defending champion, very, very easily in those matches as well. So he's making a statement here, the young American, and this could be a bit of a test for Michelsen, and anybody's holding any tournament winner prices, you might want to be a little bit careful. This is a tough test. Michelsen is minus 141, the Basavareddy is plus 115, spread is 1.5, and total 22.5 with over heavy favourite, as you would imagine in Michelsen matches. Don't know much about Basavareddy, but these results look good, Sean.
Yeah, he's playing well, confident. Brought a lot of confidence from the Challenger Tour in recent times. If you've not seen him, he's a fun watch, actually, Basavareddy. He's a quick, athletic player, very quick around the court. His backhand is his go-to shot. He can do a lot of things with that backhand. Lots of variety, particularly on that backhand wing. As I said, he can play all sorts of shots with that on that side. He's more than capable at the net. He plays a very, very nice drop shot. Doesn't make many unforced errors. So, he's tough to beat. I can see why he's had the results that he's had, certainly at challenger level. But he's not the biggest, and he's not the most powerful either. So those are kind of minus points for him at the minute. Michelsen knows him really well. These two know each other very, very well indeed. They grew up playing against each other and Lerner TN as well in Southern California, these guys. So they've played each other dozens and dozens of times. As you said, Michelsen beat him in the Next Gen event about 6-7 weeks ago. So there isn't that element of surprise about Basavareddy in this matchup as perhaps there has been in a couple of the others. Maybe Tabilo didn't really do his homework potentially. But Michelsen doesn't need to do that. He knows all about him. I just think this is quite a big price on Michelsen. I've just looked on the Bet Rivers website. He's 1.71 now. Michelsen. He was 1.43 when he played Basavareddy in that Next Gen tournament. It was only 6-7 weeks ago. I mean, it's not double the price, but it's getting, it's a much, much bigger price. It's a significant difference in price. And he won that match, Michelsen. It's not like he lost. I think the serve is going to be the difference here. Michelsen won 82% of his first serve points that day in Jeddah. And when they met at the Knoxville Challenger, he won 100% of his first serve points. So I feel like that's likely to be the difference. And for Basavareddy, he's a talent, as I say. He's a good watch. If you haven't seen him, try and catch this match because he is fun to watch. But I feel like at this level against the bigger, more powerful guys, his kind of weakish serve, it probably will be a hindrance to him. But, he might develop other area of his game. But right now, that serve, the second serve, it looks attackable to me. I think that's perhaps where this match will be won and lost. Michelsen's much, much bigger serve and the attackable more attackable serve of Basavareddy. So I'm not normally keen on backing favourites, but I don't think that's a bad price at all, actually. 1.71 about Michelsen. I'd probably go there. I might even be tempted on a handicap, something like -2.5 games, something like that. If he serves as well, again, as he has in the past against this opponent, then that could bring the 2.5 games into the equation if you want a bit of plus money.
Yeah, plus money for 2.5 games, just under even money for -1.5 games is -112, and the money line now is -141 for Alex Michelsen. It's a very interesting All-American clash between two young players who are moving fast up the world rankings, and that match starts today at 5:30 p.m. Have a bet on the Bet Rivers website. You'll be able to watch that match, enjoy the match, have a bet, 28 different markets to choose from, and you'll be able to bet live and watch live with Bet Rivers. If you had any of the bets yesterday, Sebastian Cord or anything else, any other winners you've had with us, please tag us at Because We Win. Show us your bet slips. Let us know that you're cheering us on. Let us know you're part of the community. Put the comments in the comment box below. But yeah, let us know what you're doing. Let us know if you're betting us. Let us know everything. And remember,
nothing about
Australian
sunbeds.
Opens.
Sorry, mate.
Nothing about sunbeds. We won't mention that. That's never to be mentioned again. And remember, the Betting Weekly newsletter as well is out. If you subscribe to the Betting Weekly Studios, go to the website, just put in your email address, and every Monday you'll be getting some exclusive content from the Because We Win team. And we want to make this a community, so keep your comments coming in. Any questions you have, anything else, what moisturisers Sean uses. I
can tell you that if you want.
Yeah, do on in. What is it?
It's like a L'Oreal Men expert at the moment.
There you go.
That's what.
You don't need to answer that question.
There you go.
What's the best
asking
fake
you will
tan?
be answered. If people are that interested in what the sort of minutiae of what goes on in my life, then I'm more than happy to answer the questions.
Fantastic. Well, these are the questions that the public want to be.
I'm not sure they do.
They also want to know what your thoughts are of Zizou Bergs against Carballes Baena.
Yeah, that's probably more relevant. Yeah.
That's more relevant. And that match, Bergs against Carballes Baena, starts at 8:10 this evening, stateside. And Zizou Bergs, he's having a good little run at the moment, the Belgian. I remember watching him for the first time many years ago, and I thought this kid could break through into the top 25, 30 in the world rankings, and he just become a little bit of a headbanger, didn't he? He was all over the place. But he ended the season quite well. Got to the quarterfinals in Metz, got to the come-through qualification here. Done some big wins, and he's looked good this week. But I tell you what, he's a short price favourite here against Carballes Baena, who is a serious operator. -190 is the price for Zizou Berg, which is very high when you consider he's about 10 spots below the Spaniard in the world rankings. Carballes Baena is +150, spread 2.5, and total here is 22.5. I have liked Zizou Bergs, as I said there, Sean, but approaching -$2, not for me.
No, it's a woeful price, this, on Zizou Bergs. I'm not sure what it's based on, to be honest. It's not statistics. I'm not entirely sure why he's this short. I mean, yeah, he's a good player, but is he -190 to beat someone like Carballes Baena, who gives you absolutely nothing? You know, this Auckland court, it's not the quickest. It's not slow, but it's an all right pace, but it's not quick. You're not going to blast Carballes Baena off the court. Bergs is decent, but he's not got huge weapons. He's going to have to play a very clean match here if he's going to beat Carballes Baena. If you look at the stats, last 12 months in outdoor hard at main level, as you would say, there's a cigarette paper between them. Carballes Baena, 52% win rate. Bergs, 54% win rate. Service points won and return points won totals. Carballes Baena, 101. Bergs, 101.5. So very little, certainly nothing in that to suggest that he should be -190. I mean, he's won 4 matches here, Bergs, this week, but he hasn't really played anybody. He hasn't played anyone in the top 80 in the world. And he was a set and a break down to Pablo Carreno Busta. Managed to escape from that one. But, nothing. He's had a very, very nice run to get here. If we look at what these two have done against players ranked in this sort of ranking range, I've looked at the spots between 40 and 60. It's actually Carballes Baena that's got a better win rate, 35% compared to 33%. And from a betting point of view, Carballes Baena's got a very good record at this sort of price range. He's often underrated, particularly on hard courts. If we look at his record when he's been priced up in the price range of 2.3 to 2.6, +130 to +160, which is what he is today at main level. He's got a winning record, 14-12 overall, And on outdoor hard only, he's won 5 of the 7 matches in which he's been priced up in that range. So he's often underrated on this surface. As I said, the service points won and return points won total that he's got is, I think it's the same as Felix's over the last 12 months. So, I just feel like he's being too easily dismissed. They're looking at the sort of more flashy game of Bergs, but it's not that easy to hit winners in Auckland. As I've said, I've looked at the winners to unforced errors differentials at this tournament, and there's very few players that are in plus money, if you want to call it that. So I just think all in all, it's a very, very short price on Bergs. So I'm happy to take a chance on this. Plus 150 at Carballes Baena. He's been underrated for me in this one.
Yeah, plus 150 for Carballes Baena. Is that an official play?
Yeah, I think it's good value.
So we're going to go for 2 official plays for tomorrow.
Yes.
Or tonight. I keep saying tomorrow, but today.
It depends what you're watching, I suppose, but yes.
Yeah. 2 official plays. So the plays are in Auckland, we got Carballes Baena at plus 150. And in Adelaide, we're going for, what are we going to go for the official play there?
I've forgotten. I'm going to have to bring that up.
We are going for...
Oh, it was Giron, wasn't it? Marcos Giron. Yeah. He was
Giron we got a
2.35, plus 135 chance, I believe.
Yeah, and we've got a small lean for overs in the Paul Hijikata.
Yeah, I think Hijikata might do something, yeah.
And the price of Michelsen appears to be a big price indeed. There are 2 other... It's quarterfinal day across in Australia and New Zealand. And there are 2 other matches as well. And you'll be able to head to the Bet Rivers website and get the prices on those 2 matches. And it's a real bumper day of tennis because the action starts at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time and runs all the way through till 3 a.m. in the morning. So you've basically got 12 hours non-stop of tennis. And if you do place a wager, as I said, you'll be able to bet live and watch those matches streamed to your tablet, your mobile device, or your home computer. Let's have a look at some housekeeping on the Betting Weekly show here. On Game Bet Match, we're just behind. Minus 0.86 is the profit on the show so far. 2 weeks into the season. Lots more to come. Kokkanakis wins were in great shape heading into the Australian Open, but that will fluctuate, going up and down throughout the year. And what it matters is what it is at the end of the year. That's it for this week. Next week, we have some big content. It's the Australian Open Championship. There is going to be a couple of shows from myself and Sean before we go into the tournament. There's looking ahead to the tournament winner and the best bets in round 1. And likewise, with Roy Giovanni on the WTA show, we're going to look at the tournament winner and the best bets in round 1, which will be coming your way this weekend. I believe the draw is Thursday. So Thursday morning, we should have the draw. And hopefully, we can record a tournament winner show for Friday and a match betting show for Saturday. But if it's not that, it will be coming this weekend. So the content is coming thick and fast. And remember, outside the majors, you can watch this show 3 times a week on a Sunday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So download the podcast, Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Betting Weekly Studios. We are very, 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 very close to getting to 7,000 subscribers, and that means a lot to us. And with your help, we can do that before the Australian Open. So please hit that subscribe button and give us any comments into the comment box below, anything you want us to discuss on the show. Okay, that's been it. I know Sean's got to go. He's got to meet Tracy and Raquel down at the Sunbed shop. I've got to go because I've got to go and do some work for Betting Weekly Live. That's it for the day. That's it for the week. Good luck with your bet, Sean. And come on, Kokkanakis. Let's land a 22-1 winner this weekend. Take care.